What's the missing link for most immune systems? Well, we are in a very privileged position at Advanced Health Chiropractic in that we get to see all different types of families, some pets, but many, many different people who all have different health goals, different health outcomes. However, what that also lends to is we are able to understand what are some of the common things that are getting in the way of people living and being at their best. It's generally why they come to the practice. So we're going to focus on the immune system because I'm sure we can all think back to 2022, the winter during that year, and how sick so many people were. We don't want that again, and this year we're going in completely differently on the front foot, and we want to let you know what it is that was missing for so many people last year. So what happens when you're doing all of the right things? You eat well, you're getting as much vitamin D as you can, you move your body, you're looking after yourself, but you still feel weighed down by those sick, snotty kids, families, or even yourself. It's really hard work. And is something missing? Well, sometimes there can be. I was recently reminded of the value of consistency, and I don't mean the boring eat, sleep, gym, repeat kind of framework, although for some people they might work really well with that. But I mean something far more liberating. When we consistently work at a system or build and support a system, we're going to reap the rewards that allow us to live the life that we want to live. We have a saying here that Advanced Health Chiropractic is centered around a community of families living amazing lives. That's what we want for you. And what we know is we can get your nervous system tuned up, liberated, and living at the level that you can go and do whatever amazing is for you. Now, when we want to perform in a particular area of our life, and let's think about our immune system, we want to be well, we want to handle winter really differently this year compared to what we saw last year. It simply makes sense to look after the system that's driving your success. That for us is the nervous system, and I'm sure you probably guessed. An imbalance in the nervous system can go on to affect your body's natural healing abilities. Cue constant colds, an immune system that feels like it's off duty for winter, and potentially a repeat of last year. What we see with so many of our families who are coming into the practice at Advanced Health Chiropractic is they're generally here because they want to experience the highest level of well-being and vitality that they possibly can. We also see many families who might be seeing signs and symptoms that they're not quite there, they're not quite at their best, and they want to make sure that they're working through those as early as possible. So maybe they've noticed that their baby has missed milestones, or is not developing in that sequential order that we'd usually expect. They may notice that their energy levels are low, or again, that their immune systems simply are not keeping up with life. They could be doing all of the right things, like I mentioned earlier, yet sickness is causing them to constantly put their life on hold. I bring it back to the missing link. Given what we know about the brain, the relationship between the brain, our stress chemicals, our hormones, and our immune function, so our ability to heal, let's just think about the last few years with that in mind. We all lived through a crash course of unexpected and huge demands. We needed our bodies to respond as effectively as they always had, yet with a stress load that was insurmountable at times. So we want the same result, but we've got very, very different demands on the body. Cue a bit of an imbalance. It's really, really obvious when your body's not able to bounce back like it should or like it has done before. It's really, really obvious when you just get one kid off to school and you've got the next one homesick. It's really, really obvious when you're almost too scared to go out, to interact, and to live your life normally because you are so worried about how those different exposures may affect you. It's not the life that we want for any of our people. We want us resilient. We want us able to handle whatever different bugs, viruses, stresses, challenges may be in our world and still rise up with really, really good health and vitality. What is not so obvious to people is what is driving those experiences. What is driving that constant and that chronic sickness? As we emerged from these 3 very demanding years, I feel it unnecessary to even list the stresses that we were facing, because we all knew them, and we all knew we were being stretched in all manner of ways, and it does take a toll. Maybe it's something we could withstand for, a few months, or maybe even a year, maybe even 2 years, but 3 years of relentless demand, isolated exposures, reduced ability to strengthen our bodies. We didn't have access to chiropractic care for a long time. And ongoing challenges has simply tipped the scales. So when I'm talking about the missing link, what I mean here is consistency. When we want our immune systems to perform well, when we want any system to perform well, we want to consistently build that up. We want to consistently measure it, like we do with our scans in the practice, and know exactly how it's functioning. We want to consistently monitor it to make sure your chiropractic care is matching the demand of your lifestyle or the stresses that are at play. We want to consistently match it with your life-giving, your liberating adjustments in the practice, so that missing link is no longer a factor for you guys. The more we can support your nerve system to heal well, to adapt well, and to thrive, the better able we're all going to be as we go through winter this year. So give us a call, or when we see you at your next appointment in the practice, we'll be able to chat about this consistency. And I'm sure you've all got your upcoming scans booked, so we can have a really good look in and see how well your nerve system's doing this winter.